Okay, ji, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's start today's lecture. Last time हमने lecture number 4 शुरू कर दिया था. So let's revise it a little bit. Please एक बार confirm कर दें that screen is visible.
Visible है सर.
Okay. Okay. So we last time we were talking about the environmental monitoring at the workplace. Okay. So environmental monitoring plays a crucial role in assuring health and safety of employee and the overall well-being of environment. Okay, so this means that what um, is the impact of our engineering activities on the environment? We shall discuss it. Okay, and how that impacts the health and safety of employees and overall well-being of the environment. So environmental monitoring involves the systematic collection and analysis of data related to various environmental parameters in the workplace. The primary purpose is to assess and control any potential hazard, uh, protect employee health, and maintain a sustainable environment. Okay, so we want that the bad or negative impact of the engineering activities, or in general the activities which are being held at the workplace, should have a minimum negative impact on the environment. Okay, so uh, and this is done for the sustainable environment, right? Okay, so importance kya hai environmental monitoring ki? So there are basically four aspects. The first one is occupational health and safety. Then we have compliance with regulations, environmental stewardship. Okay. Okay, so monitoring helps identify and mitigate exposure to harmful substances such as airborne pollutants, noise, and hazardous chemicals. By monitoring these factors, we can prevent workplace related illness, accidents, or long term health issues. Basically, the problems which could arise with uh, the employees. Okay, these are all handled by the employees. So, environmental monitoring is important for occupational health and safety of the employees. And then again, uh, the compliance with the regulations. So, environmental monitoring ensures compliance with local, national, and international regulations, standards, and guidelines. So, किसी भी workplace पर we have some regulations that could be local, that could be national या international regulations हो सकती हैं. Similarly, there are some standards which are need to be followed and guidelines as well. So, to make sure that we are following that, the environmental monitoring is very important. This includes monitoring emissions, one of the most important aspects. So, let's say for a factory, what are the emissions? Okay, how much different gases or harmful substances are being emitted into the environment? That is an important aspect and that needs to be monitored. Then the wastewater quality, noise levels, and indoor air quality. All of these are aspects and are to be followed according to the regulations. That could be any of these, local, national, or international. Okay. Similarly, environmental stewardship. Monitoring allows organizations to assess their environmental impact, reduce resource consumption, and adopt sustainable practices. So, this means environmental monitoring helps an organization to assess what is the impact on the environment in the form of emissions, wastewater, etc., and how much resources are they consuming in terms of raw material, electricity, right? and adopt sustainable practices. And to reduce these two things, they adopt sustainable practices. It helps identify areas of improvement, implement pollution prevention measures, and enhance overall environmental performance. Okay. So, key parameters that are to be monitored at the workplace, the environmental parameters. The first one is air quality. Okay, so monitoring air quality involves normally assessing various factors such as particulate matter or volatile organic compounds VOCs. Similarly, carbon dioxide levels and ventilation efficiency. This means that how much ventilation efficiency means that how much you are ventilating, how efficiently you are ventilating the air, or how much the air is filtered before going in directly going into the environment. Okay. The regular monitoring ensures a healthy and comfortable working environment and reducing the risk of respiratory problems. Okay, so this ventilation efficiency basically means that how much or how efficiently you are filtering the entering air to make sure that your working area meets the health standards. Similarly, how much you are uh, ventilating the outdoor air as well, so that different diseases or uh, chemical compounds or things like these do not enter the environment. Okay. Then we have the noise levels. Excessive noise can lead to hearing losses, right? So, or other health issues. So, monitoring of these noise levels is very important, and it helps identify areas where noise control measures are necessary, such as engineering controls or the use of personal protective equipment. Okay, so this is done to assure that the employees do not have any health issues related to their hearing. Then we have chemical exposure. Monitoring chemical exposure involves assessing the presence of and concentration of hazardous substances in the workplace, normally chemicals. Okay, so this includes monitoring gases, vapors, dust, and other hazardous materials, ensuring that employees are not exposed to levels that exceed permissible limits. Okay, so for every kind of chemical, for example, in a chemical factory, there are some limits upon which there could be a problem, a health issue, if the exposure is very high as compared to these permissible limits. सो उस केस में आपके एम्प्लॉय के लिए वो प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है, ठीक है। सो जस्ट टू मेक श्योर कि वो केमिकल एक्सपोजर जो है वो परमिसिबल लिमिट से लेस है, सो वी नीड टू मॉनिटर दिस एस्पेक्ट। Water and wastewater quality. Okay, so monitoring the quality of water as well as the wastewater is essential to prevent contamination and protect the environment. Parameters such as pH, dissolved oxygen, turbidity, and specific containments are monitored to ensure compliance with regular regulations and safeguards water resources. Okay, so then we have waste management. Again, the waste coming from the your working place. Monitoring waste management practices helps ensure proper segregation, handling, storage, and disposal of different types of waste material. So we know that waste material has several standard types जिसमें हम इसको distribute करते हैं. So waste management is necessary so that if recycling is required हम उसको easily recycle कर सकें. For example, plastics at one place, or glass items, or and then we have aluminum or metallic items at one place, so that this recycling process becomes easy. Okay, because हमने उसको already segregate कर दिया, अलग कर दिया. Okay, It helps prevent pollution, minimize environmental impact, and promote recycling and reuse initiatives. Okay, so what are the benefits of this environmental monitoring? Okay. So the first one is the early detection of hazards. Regular monitoring enables early detection of potential hazards, allowing for timely intervention and preventive measures. This helps prevent accidents, injuries, illness, safeguarding employee well-being, and reducing organizational liabilities. So environmental monitoring can help you to predict and detect hazards. Okay. Similarly, it also improves decision making. You are gathering some data using this environmental monitoring, right? So by gathering this data, you have enough information to make some useful decisions, okay, related to environmental impact of your organization and the employee health and safety as well. Okay. It enables organizations to identify trends, evaluate the effectiveness of control measures, and allocate resource more efficiently. Then we have regulatory compliance. Environmental monitoring ensures compliance with regulatory requirements. Okay, so आपकी जो भी regulatory requirements हैं for your um, organization, if you are monitoring the environmental aspects, so definitely आप along as you go further आप उन regulatory requirements को meet up करते हैं, and you can avoid penalties and legal consequences. Okay. It helps maintain a positive reputation and demonstrates the organization's commitment to environmental responsibility. Okay. And also environmental monitoring enhances the sustainability. Okay, so monitoring environmental parameters promotes sustainable practices, reduces resource consumption, and minimizes environmental impact. Right, it supports the organization's sustainability goals, improves efficiency, and fostering a positive corporate image. Okay, so what are the what are the techniques of this environmental monitoring? What are the techniques and technologies? Okay, so the first one is sampling and analysis. So what do? You collect the environmental samples for the lab analysis. Provide It provides accurate and reliable data on various parameters. Okay. Then we have the real-time monitoring. Here, continuous monitoring systems such as air quality sensors, noise meters, and water quality analyzers provide instant data and alerts. Okay, so in this real-time monitoring, if there is something wrong with the, such as the air quality or the water quality, so it instantly provides the data and also alerts about the potential hazard that could be caused due to this problem. Okay. Then we have remote monitoring. So the Internet of Things IoT technologies allow for remote monitoring of environmental parameters, improving efficiency and data accessibility. Okay. Then we have data management and analysis. Advanced softwares solutions facilitate data management, analysis, and visualization, aiding in trend identification and decision making. Okay, so we use data management and analysis to identify trends and then to make decisions according to these trends. Okay, implementing an effective environmental monitoring program. So, how to implement this EEMP? So, assessing risks and regulatory requirements. First of all, conduct a comprehensive assessment of potential environmental hazards and legal obligations. So, based on your organization, you need to first conduct a comprehensive assessment that provides you with the environmental hazards that are associated with your organization and what are the legal obligations related to your organization. Okay, so first we need to assess that. Then Based on this information, we need to develop monitoring plans. Okay, so we need to define the parameters to be monitored, then sampling frequency, then the locations where we need to sample, okay, or we can get the sample, and responsible personnel. Okay, so who will be responsible for all of these things? So this is related to developing monitoring plans. Then after that, we need to select the appropriate equipment for this monitoring purpose. Okay, so we need to choose reliable and accurate monitoring devices that are suitable for that specific case. Okay, that for those specific parameters and those uh, those environmental parameters. For example, for air quality monitoring, we have different equipment, and for water quality monitoring we have different equipment. For noise quality mm, we have different equipment, right? So based on what you need to measure and what are you monitoring, the equipment will definitely change. Then we have training and awareness. For all of these above mentioned steps, we need to train and we need to aware the employees. Okay, so for this we provide training to the employees, and so that they know the importance of environmental monitoring, proper monitoring techniques, and reporting procedures. Okay. um, Continuous improvement is again the process for all of these things. So once you have assessed the risks, you have developed the plans, you have selected the appropriate equipment, you have provided the training and awareness to your employees, then you will after all of these things, um, so it we provide continuous improvement. It could be annually, it could be monthly, or it could be according to the requirement. Okay, so regularly review and update the monitoring program based on feedback, emerging technologies, and changing regulations. Okay, so what are the common environmental monitoring instruments? So the first one is gas detectors. Okay, so we have dedicated gas detectors. For example, hydrogen sulfide gas detector, oxygen, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide. Okay, so all of these gas detectors help to detect specific gases, okay, which could be dangerous in that region. Okay, so what could be the danger due to these gases? Number one, these gases can be toxic, right? Or they can be flammable gases, for example, oxygen. So they are essential for monitoring potential leaks and ensuring worker safety. Okay. Then we have particulate matter monitors. So these instruments measure the concentration of airborne particles such as dust, smoke, allergens. They help assess air quality and prevent respiratory issues. Okay. Then we have the sound level meters. These sound level meters are used to measure noise levels in decibels. Decibel is a unit of sound measurement, noise level measurement. They help identify areas with excessive noise that may impact employee health and safety. Okay. So again, then we have indoor air quality monitors. These monitors measure parameters like temperature, humidity, CO2, volatile organic compounds to ensure healthy indoor environment. Then we also have water quality test kits. These kits allow for on-site testing of water parameters such as pH, turbidity, conductivity, and specific contaminants. They help ensure safe water consumption and compliance with standards. Okay, so then we have the weather stations. So weather stations monitor meteorological parameters such as temperature, humidity, wind speed, and precipitation. They are useful for assessing outdoor environmental conditions. Okay. Then data analysis and interpretation. Collecting environmental data is only the first step. Okay, by using these equipments, we are gathering the data. So this is the first step. After that, analyzing and interpreting the data is crucial to gain meaningful insights and take appropriate actions. So data analysis can involve identifying trends, for example, the temperature trend or relative humidity trend. How is the outside temperature increasing or decreasing, or the average yearly temperature? What is the effect on that of those environmental or the activities which you are doing in that specific organization? The patterns, correlations between different parameters. Then statistical analysis, such as mean, median, standard deviation, can be used to understand the variability of data. Okay, so these terms are used to assess or to analyze the data which you have collected. Comparing the collected data with regulatory standards and guidelines helps assess the compliance and identify areas of improvement. ओके सो वी हैव सम स्टैंडर्ड्स हमारे पास कुछ स्टैंडर्ड्स होते हैं और हमने उसके अकॉर्डिंगली अपने डाटा को कंपेयर करके ये कंपैरिजन करना होता है कि आइदर वी आर इन द सेफ जोन और नॉट ओके एंड आइदर वी आर फॉलोइंग द रेगुलेटरी स्टैंडर्ड्स और नॉट एंड इफ देयर इन दिस केस अगर आप फॉलो नहीं कर रहे हैं और आपको किसी इंप्रूवमेंट की गुंजाइश नज़र आती है देन वी आइडेंटिफाई दोज एरियाज. Then data visualization through graphs, charts, maps can aid in presenting the information effectively and facilitating the understanding. Okay, okay, uh, that was it for lecture number 4. Okay, so we will stop here. और अगर आपका मिड टर्म से रिलेटेड कुछ क्वेश्चन हैं तो आप मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं.